you doing?
Yo.
Welcome back to Leather Helmet Fandom Football Podcast. Today we are going to be getting into the first week of the NFL. It is Wednesday, 9/7. Is that right? 9/6. 9/6. 9/7 is the first day of football, which is Thursday tomorrow. So this will be up Thursday morning. So get your picks in. Follow us, trail us if you want to. If you don't, you don't have to. Just let us know what you're doing so we can maybe trail yours depending on if we like it or not. We're also going to be going over future bets as well. And then maybe hopefully Friday or Saturday we can do over Sunday bets. So
if their lines come out, which they will by then.
Yeah, Steelers and 49ers lines are out, so I'd imagine more will come out tomorrow. But let's get right into the future bets. I got a few of them. My units, I don't know about you, but my units are a little bit higher value-wise for future bets, whereas the regular season I'm going to taper down the value of a unit for
me. Mine are pretty similar, except for like ones I'm high on.
Okay. I was just basing it because I don't want to say like what my regular season units would be and then throw that kind of unit number at something. Like I'm still valuing at that. I'm just raising the price a little bit. So say if like my unit was $100, let's say if my unit was $100, right, for the regular season.
Don't listen to this. This is unsafe gambling. You keep your unit the same, you idiot. You just bet more units.
Yeah, you can. I'm just saying what I'm doing.
Yeah, what you're doing is irresponsible gambling.
Okay. Well, I'm just letting you know that there's more value to my units on the preseason. That's all.
Just say more units if you want.
Nah, because then it sounds like I'm like super on it, but I'm not. It's just
okay, whatever.
A farther future unit. So I'm not going to put in one unit of the regular season where I'm not going to get paid until
I know you're trying to say, but you might as well.
I'm not going to get paid a year later. Not a year later, but a season later.
You might as well just say you're in on it.
There's no quick turnaround.
So or you just say I put more on future bets because it's a season long payout versus whatever.
Yep. All right. Well, let's get right into them. You could start it off.
So just since we're talking about future bets and you're talking about putting more on it, I would really suggest the opposite unless you're like high on a single bet. Like definitely don't go high on a parlay for all season. Mainly just because there's always an injury risk when you're doing season-long bets. Because as soon as somebody gets injured, it could ruin your whole future bet. Versus week by week, it's just one game, not as likely to ruin your bet.
That's why I don't have any prop bets.
So if you're going big, go big on one guy that you're high on. Because, it's going to suck if he gets injured, but at least it's just one guy. You're not relying on 8 guys not getting injured. Anyways, that all to say, 2 I'm really high on. My first one being Amon-Ra St. Brown of the Detroit Lions. I got his over. They have receiving yards. They have it pretty much right at 1,000, so it's over 1,000.5. You just got to get 1,001. Last year, he averaged 82 yards per game. So not counting the 3 games he missed, if he played a whole 17-game season, obviously it's not super normal. But for wide receiver, it's not super uncommon either. Usually 15 to 17 is average for a healthy wide receiver one. Anyways, all that to say, his 17-game pace, he had over 1,400 yards. So just last year, he would have had 1,400 yards if he played every game. Even without playing every game, he missed 3. He still had 1160. It was 82 yards per game, whatever it was, so it was a lot.
How many games did you say he missed?
3.
Oh, because this thing says games played 16, but obviously he didn't play the full game.
Yeah, he definitely didn't. He missed 3. And if you want to count it as not missed, it's missed.
No, it's 32% and 17%, and then 1 just completely missed. So it makes sense.
But in his 2 seasons in the NFL, I mean, as a rookie, he had 912 yards, and just last year, 1161. So he's more than capable of hitting this number. If anything, the book's only putting it at this number because of injury risk. Not that he's an injury risk player, but there's always that possibility. I don't think it's anything to do with what he should produce, because he should easily produce 1,000 based on his last 2 years and based on his trajectory only going up. Jamison Williams, his wide receiver 2 partner, who is a really high scouted, high profile big guy that could take a lot of targets is out 6 games suspended and has an injury. People lingered he might be out the whole year. I don't know if he already was put on that, but whatever, it's possible. So not really new competition outside of Jahmyr Gibbs, but I don't think Jahmyr Gibbs, the running back, that is the rookie star guy everyone's high and mighty on, is going to take too many targets away from the wide receivers, mainly just because he's a running back. Not that he can't run a slant route really well or won't be lined up in the slot once in a while. I just feel like Jahmyr Gibbs makes the team overall better. Definitely. So, they'll be on the field more, and it'll just give the opportunity for Amon-Ra to be even higher in targets. So, I love his both targets. It's really peppered with targets like crazy. I don't remember what exactly it was, but it had to be in the 8s or 9s he averaged targets per game. I mean, most games he was getting 12. So there's nothing statistical wise that says he's not going to produce just as much as he did last year, unless you think the Lions are blowing out every team they play, which they're not because their defense is butt.
Their division might some games, but
yeah, but I'm just saying their division or their defense is still one of the, I don't know, bottom half at least, bare minimum, probably worse than that. So I don't see why you wouldn't take this bet outside of just worrying about the whole season, because 1,000 yards is not really easy to do. It's just easy when you're getting 150 targets.
Yep.
So negative 118 odds. I got 2 units on it.
All right. Well, let's go over to my first one. Not really going to do much analysts on this because it's just more of a hate thing, and I'm taking under 6.5 wins. Units 1, and
who is it?
It is Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So I'm taking the under because I think Baker's trash. He's proven he's trash. He went to the Rams, and now he's somehow starting this year because he's going against Trask, which didn't look good either in the preseason. So now all of a sudden he's going to start, kind of like how Josh Dobbs is getting a start over in Cardinals. It shouldn't be a thing, but it is a thing, which is pretty pathetic in this NFL.
That's just because they want to lose, the Cardinals.
Yeah, that plus I'm down on Baker. Plus that I just think their receivers can get hurt. They've what's his name? Godwin's gotten hurt plenty of times, and Evans very, very old. I don't think their run game's good whatsoever, and their defense has not been the greatest since what's it called? Super Bowl. They're still not the worst, but they're still not anything close to what they were in the Super Bowl. So
what's that? 6-13? No, 6-11.
Would be
their record.
So.
Yeah, 6-11 would have to be their record or worse.
I just can't see them get, because with the division they're in, with 7 wins, basically says they're almost going to be making the playoffs. Because if they get to 7, I think
Saints are going to do really well. They're in the division, right?
Yeah, Saints, Falcons, Bucks.
Yeah. No, I think Saints are going to run away with the division, so I don't think there's a chance to make the playoffs.
Yeah. But either way, it's just more of a hate thing, so I'm putting 1 unit on that for them to go under, and then hopefully my reason for not liking Baker shows even more, and we move on. Moving on to my second one, I got Steelers to make playoffs. I got 3 units on that. At plus 146. Oh yeah.
How many wins they got to get for that?
The Buccaneers thing was the odds were minus 128, so not so good, but it is what it is when it's future bets like that on a team versus a player like you're talking about, prop bets. But I got 3 units on Pittsburgh Steelers to make playoffs at plus 146. And what was your question?
How many wins do you think they'll need to make playoffs? Because they're probably not winning
Browns
the division.
Are not getting 9 or more. Steelers are at least getting 11. So it's not about how much will they need. It's about how much will they get. I think their minimum is 11 wins. So they're making playoffs regardless.
And I get what you're saying. So even if they somehow don't win their division,
yeah, they're gonna have 11 plus. I feel like in my eyes,
they'll have to be a wild card at 11.
Now, when it comes to odds, I don't really
plus 140. That seems low.
I don't want to say like, oh, I'm going to bet on 11 plus because anything can happen. Obviously, like we just had DJ Watt out last year, and they lost almost every single game besides one without him. So it just shows how much he means. Plus, if Pickett gets hurt, our backups are honestly not good at all either, even though they've been in the league for quite some time. But regardless, I think this all comes down to just an upgrade from last year. Kenny Pickett going on his second year, full season, and everything on the team has just gotten better besides the corners. And some may even say the corners got better than last year. So
did you look at their 10-plus wins?
Odds? I did. So I put 3 units on that, and then I have another one for Steelers to actually I have 3. So 3 units on
they're just wanting
to win the playoffs, and then we got
let's see, 10
3
plus.
units on them to win 9 games because right now they're at minus 8.5, not minus.
Yeah, so over
8.5. Where is that at?
I feel like here. I don't know. I feel like with the division they're in, since it's pretty competitive, like the other teams might still put up a decent amount of wins.
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't you feel more comfortable just going 10 plus wins and versus making the playoffs?
So I have making playoffs because I think they're going to make the playoffs, and I have 10 plus wins at 1 unit for plus 158. I got that at a boost of 25%. So at before it was
132.
Plus 130. It was 126 when I got it. So it's
up to 132 now.
132. I took it at 1 unit for them to get 10 plus wins. So yeah, I took both of them. Plus I took Steelers at 3 units to go over their 8.5 game wins, which was minus something. I don't see it in my bets, but I could have sworn I took it. Either way, we'll be taking it.
So 3 on the playoffs, 1 on 10 plus,
and 3 on 8 plus, or 8.5 plus.
So
it's at minus 150.
If the Steelers get 8 wins, you lose a lot of money.
Yeah. No,
Gotcha.
if they don't get 9 plus.
Yeah, if they get 8 wins.
Yeah, if they get 8 wins or less. But guess what? They got 8 wins last year.
All right. I mean, he's a winning coach, so
they went even, didn't they? Steelers record.
I like their upside. I don't know if I'm betting on them.
Yeah, they won 9 games last year.
Yeah,
with
I know. I'm saying they're a winning team.
Not starting the whole year. So I just see that not happening, and I feel like they have to do better than last year. Obviously, with the division they're in, that doesn't mean they can't do worse. But I just feel like you said, with Mike Tomlin and just a better situation, better team overall, I think it's as long as they stay healthy. That is, like you said, future bets have a lot to do with health. So, just high on Steelers. Plus, if they do good, I'm doing good because I'm feeling good. I'm living good. So we're gonna be all in on the Steelers this year. But you want to head over to your second one?
Yeah. So this is my last single future bet. It's my highest one. So I got James Cook over 3.5 rushing touchdowns at plus 104 odds. I have 5 units on it. I think most people know I'm like super in on James Cook this year. The narrative that he's going to lose goal line work to Damian Harris. I mean, obviously it's possible he's going to lose some work, but everybody out of like camp and people that report on him are saying he's getting majority of the role in all aspects: passing game, early work, early down, goal line. More so, he's got to lose the job to lose the goal line work.
Yep.
So even in the first couple of weeks, if he's not really as good of a back when it comes to the goal line work, I still think he's going to get the opportunities to start off, especially because if they use someone like Singletary over and over, I think they'll be fine using James Cook. Anyways, getting to some of the stats that really boost this up a little bit. James Cook could easily have many multi-touchdown games on the Bills' offense. He's shown it on tape even last year. Both his 2 touchdowns, rushing touchdowns he had, were outside of 20-plus yards.
Did it know that?
They were both breakaway touchdowns. So he has really good vision, and he fast enough to be able to get away and break away for like a 40 plus. I don't know if I'd go farther than like 50. But regardless, he's able to do that. And I think with the new opportunity and the new snaps and the whatever rush attempts, he's going to get at least 2 of them. But even outside of that, I see him getting a lot of opportunities going into the red zone. So the Bills last year total rushed 67 times in the red zone. Their lead back Singletary last year got 50% of those 67 rushes. He's a much smaller back, and he's still got 5 rushing touchdowns on just 34 red zone attempts. Bills were 9th in red zone touchdown percentage with a 60% touchdown rate. So 60% of the time they get in the red zone, they're scoring a touchdown. Obviously, that could be a pass too, but just a good percentage of a winning offensive team that's going to score. You don't have to worry about the team pooping out. The average running back last year, so all the running backs last year, like starters that is, scored on an average of 14.3% of their red zone rushes. Only 2 running backs out of all the starting running backs fell below 10%. So really, almost all of them score 10% or higher of their rushes. So if they rush, let's say, 40 times the red zone, they're going to score a minimum of 4 times if they're the starting running back.
Mm-hmm.
So give James Cook, let's just say 32 red zone attempts, which is a little bit less than even Singletary had last year. That pretty much guarantees, unless he somehow is the worst ever at the red zone, which doesn't really make sense because he's already shown he's got good vision. He guaranteed 3 touchdowns because that would be just under 10%, which would be the worst running backs of all last year, percentage-wise. So it's give him 3 there, give him 2 breakaway ones across the whole year, and you hit your mark. You're at 5, technically. You hit over it. All you need is 4. So I don't really know where this line's coming from except for that they don't have anything to go off of.
Yeah.
Like he barely scored last year. He wasn't used a lot in that way. So they're not really sure what to go off of. But
plus, like you said, it was breakout rushing touchdowns that he got from far.
Yeah, like they're not sure how good he is in the red zone, blah, blah, blah. Because in reality, he's more of like an elusive back than he is a ground and pound guy.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I still think he can pound it pretty good, mainly because he just picks a good hole and he's got a good Bills offense. So all them stats to say, like this bet, if I had a lot of money, I would throw a lot at it. Like the worst case scenario I can see is like he has 3 rushing touchdowns and somehow has like 8 passing touchdowns.
Did you get it at plus money when you bet it?
Yeah, plus 104 odds.
That's what I got it at too.
And it's like the crazy thought in my mind is I can see 5 weeks into the season where his week by week touchdown like odds are like dead even or even negative, like negative 120.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. That's saying, oh, there's a really good chance he scores every week.
Yeah, pretty much. I think after the first, I don't want to say week because they play the Jets and it's a hard defense. I want to say after the second week, I think they're automatically going to give you a cash out option because I know he's going to get a rushing touchdown.
Yeah.
So I think
he play?
Raiders.
Oh, yeah.
But obviously Raiders defense is still pretty decent with what's his name there. And but
honestly, I mean, even though the Jets defense is super good and their line's crazy, if he gets enough opportunities, it's gonna be a high scoring game, and it's his rival game versus his brother, Dalvin Cook.
Yep.
So I'm like, dude, he's gonna try to go off.
I think the first 2 weeks of a touchdown, they're automatically gonna give you a cash out option. So even if you don't like the actual bet, I think he's going to get 1 or 2 early because, like you said, he would have to lose the job for this to not really happen. And I don't think he's going to lose the job that early because he fumbled his very first play, like we talked about before, and they still continued to let him take over after Singletary got hurt, maybe? I don't know if Singletary...
No, he never really took over completely, but they actually gave him more, like, usable work.
Yeah.
He was getting, like,
I mean, he went from, like,
touches,
below 25% to 40%, so that's kind of taking
exactly
a little bit. But anyway, I got that bet as well, but I only got it at 2.5 units. So yeah,
raise it.
I I got a lot of other units on everything else. So you said your last one you have for futures is a parlay.
I have a bunch of parlays.
All right. Well, I'm just gonna spit out my units. I'm gonna spit out my singles because I have a lot. Don't really want to go deep into it. Just give you guys some things to think about and then move on. I'm curious though because I just dabbled in it a little bit. Who do you think will have the most rushing yards this season?
Rushing?
Nick Chubb, CMC.
I would go not Nick Chubb.
Henry.
It's not CMC. I would go Henry, Bijan, Barkley.
You really don't think Chubb? I think Chubb's gonna have
Chubb's gonna have a great year, but he's not gonna have the most. I think like he might have the most all-purpose receiving and rushing.
Wow, that's big. That means you're saying he's gonna be second in rushing.
I think he might go 400 plus receiving, and like 1,400, 1,500 rushing.
I just dabbled on them. I just did CMC and Nick Chubb, but I didn't really put units on it. So, like I said, I just dabbled in it. And then I took the Cardinals. This one is my biggest bet of the year. My future bet. I took it at 12 units. All right.
Oh, God.
Under 4.5 wins. Okay. They are tanking like no other. Who knows if Murray will even touch the field? No one's even talked about Murray actually like playing. They're just like,
I'd rather trade him if they could.
Yeah, exactly. And then get more picks because if they get the first overall pick, they can get Caleb Martin, which if anyone's watching college, Williams?
Yeah.
Thinking about someone else. If you can get Caleb Williams, if anyone's watching college football next year, they're going to want him, trust me, because that's going to kickstart that team all over again. So I believe in their tank. And I can't see a tank happening with 5 wins. So you're not getting the first overall pick, which will be him next year if you're going to get 5 wins. So for that reason, I'm taking 12 units of the Cardinals. Plus, they also gave away Simmons for a 7th-round pick, which is insane when it was their first-round pick. Obviously, he hasn't panned out, but still, he was like their second-best defender on the team. Now all you have is Budda Baker, and that's it. That's the only person I really know on the team other than like a couple of their offensive weapons, and that's it. But you have Josh Dobbs as your starting quarterback, plus someone else, I forget his name.
Clayton Tune.
Which I think is a rookie.
He's a rookie.
So there's just no way it's going to happen. I'm sorry. They're also in a tough division. Seahawks, 49ers.
Yeah, and Rams.
Rams. Just not happening. Maybe two wins the Rams, which I highly doubt that even.
They're splitting them. They're not beating both of them.
Yeah. So like it's just not coming for me. So I'm putting 12 units on it. I'm slamming that. If there's gonna be any bet I recommend you do, even if you don't want to put 12 units on it, is hit that under for the Cardinals. It's plain simple. Obviously it's at -120 though, so you're not getting as much bang for your buck.
It would suck if you lost that bet like week 18.
Oh yeah, that would be annoying. Yeah, that would be annoying.
Like we don't need to win this game.
But like I said, I don't think they would be first overall pick with 5 wins, so I can't see them giving that.
I feel like they would. Yeah, they wouldn't be like who did that last year.
Jaguars took over for.
Yeah, but whoever is it, the Bears or the Bears got the number whatever pick.
Yeah, I forget.
Because
but I know
the Cardinals or somebody, the Texans or somebody threw a touchdown for the last game.
All right, moving on to my second favorite bet of the futures. I have 7.5 units. I've already put this on our YouTube channel. It's on a reel if you want to go watch it. It's more in detail. 7.5 units on Eagles to have the most regular season sacks. They got 72 last year, which was like third of all time in NFL. And no one has really ever gotten close to that since 2000. I think the Saints were the ones that were close to it, and they still had less than Eagles. So I'm taking them, and then Josh's question to me was, well, I doubt it ever repeats much. So I took the Pittsburgh Steelers at 2.5 units, while I take the Eagles at 7.5 units. Eagles are plus 750 at 7.5 units, and
the Eagles are plus 750.
I don't know what they're at now. But when I got this what is that? And then Steelers were at plus 900. Actually, I know it dropped a little bit, especially because of preseason. Steelers we're at plus 900 for 2.5 units. And I took the Steelers because Josh's question, how many times has a team repeated because the Eagles won it last year? The Steelers repeated it since TJ Watt stepped on the field from 2017 to 2021. They might even got in 2022 if TJ Watt didn't get hurt for as long as he got hurt, but I highly doubt it, being the Eagles set the record. Plus, Eagles just got 2 phenomenal weapons in the first rounds. Both of them were, I believe.
Yeah.
For their rush attack. And the other guy that they got last year is his second year, and they just looked insane in the preseason. Obviously, it was going against not all starters, but still they looked insane, and I think they're going to show out and be the sack leaders again this year. So that's why I got 7.5 and 2.5 on the Steelers. But if there's anyone that's going to beat them, it's going to be the Steelers, considering they've won it from 2017 to 2021. Moving on down, I got Bijan Robinson at 2.5 units. I got him to be Offensive Rookie of the Year. It's at plus 300. I can't see, and I believe you probably can't see either, anyone else getting it other than a rookie wide receiver.
Yeah.
But JNS
Jackson Smith.
He should be playing week 1, but obviously got hurt a little bit already. But he also is in a committee wide receiver, so I doubt he's going to do that. Plus, it's not really like the same team. I would say they're probably better than this year. I would say definitely actually Seahawks. But it's not going to be Addison because he's behind. What's his name? Jefferson. There's no way it's going to happen to him. It would either be JNS or I'm forgetting the other rookie, Flowers.
Zay Flowers.
But I think that's only going to happen if Andrews gets hurt, because if Andrews there's no way he's going to be able to shine and get as much opportunities as Bijan Robinson does. And that's plain simple what it is. More opportunities than any other rookie, and he will show out with those opportunities.
I feel like the maybe only chance of losing is somehow Anthony Richardson gets coached into being a really good QB and gets 8 wins and 1,000 yards rushing.
That's saying a lot with Taylor out.
I'm saying the rushing I could see pretty easily. It's more so getting 8 wins is crazy.
I mean, Fields did that.
Yeah,
plus more
8 wins,
right? But
and that wasn't
he wasn't even like considered because obviously
he wasn't a rookie.
Wins.
He was a sophomore
last year.
No, he was a sophomore year.
Okay. Either way, got 2.5 units on that for plus 300. Next one up is Pittsburgh Steelers to score 1 touchdown in every regular season game.
That ain't happening.
They only did it once last year, and that was with Pickett out and TJ Watt out. So as long as both them boys stay healthy, which I think are the QBs on each side of the field, I doubt they will get a.
What's the odds?
It is plus 220, which is also what I love about it. I got it at 2.5 units. So I just see them doing it this year a lot more than last year because of their situation, like I said. So I'm definitely all in, obviously, on the Steelers with all the other bets plus that one. And then the last one I have is well, like I said, I'm 2.5 units for the James Cook, and the last one I have is Dallas Goedert to get over 3.5 receiving touchdowns. It's a little bit juiced at minus 128, but he's only gone over this once. But let me pull up his thing real fast.
He's probably never been healthy.
Yeah, that's his biggest thing is health, which I believe and hope and pray that he will be healthy this year. Last year, he only played 12 games, and he got 3 touchdowns. The year before that, he played 15 games and got 4 touchdowns.
The year before that, half of it was with Ertz, if I'm correct.
Yeah. Ertz was definitely hindering his touchdowns. Plus, they had Wentz for a few years with Goddard because it dates all the way back. He only got he got 4 touchdowns his rookie year, 5 year after that, 3 after that, 4 after that, and 3 after that. So he's gone nowhere. He's never gone under 3, and he's only hit under this twice out of his 6 seasons or 5 seasons. So I think as long as he remains healthy, I think he's got this in the bag for sure with Ertz gone and Hurts looking a lot better. So I'm going to put the 2.5 units on that as well at minus 128, and we can move on to your parlays.
So I call this parlays of guys I like this year. So pretty much just picking out guys that I think have the potential or the upside to do it. So I got 750 plus rushing yards for all these guys. I got Tony Pollard,
Like it.
Damian Pierce, Joe Mixon,
like it though.
and David Montgomery. So those 4 guys, you get plus 524 odds. I got a half a unit on it.
I'm out on Montgomery.
You're crazy,
All right.
but you'll see. Wait for this one then. 1,000 plus rushing yards. I got Bijan Robinson, Tony
Okay.
Pollard,
Okay.
Joe Mixon, and
Okay.
David Montgomery. Obviously, Montgomery boosts this parlay up quite a bit, but that's why you get good odds. You get plus almost 4,000 odds. I got 0.1 units on it. Obviously, it's a hot take, so I'm not putting a lot of units on it. Yeah, because Montgomery's, that's hard to get 1,000 for him.
Yeah, definitely.
And then some receivers I like, so 1,000 plus receiving yard years. I got Olave, Amon-Ra, St. Brown,
Love it.
DK Metcalf. This one will boost the odds quite a bit. Jahan Dotson of
Wait, Dotson for 1,000?
1,000 plus.
I think he's better to get that than Metcalf is, to be honest. Even though his odds aren't like that, because Metcalf will be in a committee of wide receivers, while Dotson will be
DK
sort of,
is
but
the number one. Dotson's not the number one in the offense. Anyways,
I get that, but
and he has way more targets than Dotson, so you're crazy. Anyways, and then Calvin Ridley is the last. So those 5 receivers, all 1,000 plus, you get plus 8,300 odds, so 8,300. I have a 0.25 units on it. I actually like this one quite a bit, even though I'm not putting too much on it. And then my last one, which I won this one last year, it's a 10 plus win parlay. So combination of teams that really should get 10 plus wins, barring like a QB injury, and then mixing them with ones that are a little more underdog or don't have pretty much better odds to boost it. So the biggest odds booster I have is Saints. They just have the easiest schedule, and I think they're
Easy
underrated
division.
this year with their addition of Derek Carr. They still have good receivers. Michael Thomas is back. Jamal Williams is underrated running back. Kamara eventually will be back. I just think they're really underrated, and their easy schedule will make them get very close, if not over that 10. You got the Bills, a healthy Josh Allen, no broken ribs this year, hopefully. And I just think he's on a path to I'm not losing type of deal. Jaguars, so rolling with their momentum and their new weapons in Calvin Ridley and Tank Bigsby. The Lions, they really should have hit this mark last year. But they had a lot of upsets against top teams. They're actually 4th best odds to win the NFC, hold all of NFC, and make the Super Bowl. So obviously Vegas is thinking they are going to get a 10 win or really close and make playoffs. So all of them together, those 4 get you plus 750. I have a half a unit on it. Last year I think I hit over plus 1,000 on it. And
I remember that.
And it was only like by like week 13, week 14 I hit it.
You had like Vikings, Chargers,
Yeah.
Chiefs. And
I mean,
something
obviously,
else.
I got a little luck my side with the Vikings, only because they barely won a lot of games, but they still looked good, and everybody else looked good. So that's all I got for futures, parlays, and all my futures.
My future parlay for the 10 plus wins, I didn't place it yet, but I probably will be depending on how I feel. I got Jaguars just like you. I got Saints just like you. But then I got 49ers.
Be right back.
I got 49ers and Steelers, which obviously is the one that juices it up. Jacksonville Jaguars at minus 148 when I got it. 49ers at minus 260. Pittsburgh's at plus 138. And the Saints are at plus 108. So yeah, the two. How many odds of those 4
legs?
teams? How many legs were plus odds? Do you remember?
I don't think any of them except Saints.
Saints were at plus
maybe
108.
Lions, but
Yeah,
no,
maybe.
probably not.
Yeah, I
I
had
think they
to.
were all negative.
You should add Pittsburgh Steelers instead of Bills in there.
Okay,
would've been
Bills are
dirty work.
definite.
Yeah, I know. But you don't need definites. You just need this dude
I
should
like
have 10
definites
teams.
when they're giving plus 750 odds.
Yeah,
But I really think this is almost locked in, barring crazy big injuries to the big players. So you're betting whatever to win 7 times it.
Yep. All right, well, let's move right into Thursday night football. We got Chiefs versus Lions. Is it at
Lions.
Is it at Arrowhead?
It's at Arrowhead.
At Arrowhead. Lions got to travel.
No Kelsey.
Things going into it is, will Kelsey play? Probably not.
Chris Jones isn't playing.
Chris Jones definitely is not playing. They just no, that's the wrong team. I was going to say 49ers.
So what's his name's playing? I'm like, oh, that's crazy. He's going to get hurt as week 1. Kadarius Toney.
Yeah, he is playing. So even if they don't have Kelsey, I think they'll spread the ball, and I think it will still be a good game. It's just more or less it's going to go towards Lions. I would say more. Not I wouldn't say more winning, but have a better chance to win if Kelsey's out. Obviously.
Yeah, the line changed 2 points.
It's at 5.5 now. I saw it.
So
at 6.5.
it started at 6.5, and as soon as Kelsey got hurt, to 4.5.
Now it's at 5.5 again.
Yeah, probably just because he might play, or they're just whatever going with the flow of the money.
But either way, I'm not basing my bets off Kelsey playing or not playing. To be honest, so let's get right into them. My first one is going to be Isaiah Pacheco. We loved him last year. You didn't like him last year? I thought you did.
Nah, not really. Not the bet.
But anyway, as far as he's just a rushing guy, he's not really a receiving back at all whatsoever. But he took over the field last year when Clyde got hurt, and he did pretty dirty work with it. So I'm taking his over 49.5 rushing yards at -114. A lot of people are asking, well, he was hurt. He got the shoulder injury. He's in a committee backfield with Clyde and McKinnon. Clyde and McKinnon catch the ball. Clyde rushes somewhat, but McKinnon doesn't whatsoever. KC is a pass happy team, but with Kelsey out, who knows if he is out or not. But if he is out, I think they're going to be less pass happy, to be honest, and they're going to try to play more the clock more than anything, especially since they don't have their Chris Jones, their pass rusher. But anyway, we've seen Dalvin Cook with a shoulder injury, which is what's his name's coming back from. I believe he got surgery this year, right?
Check out. Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
We've seen Dalvin Cook go off with his shoulder injury. Lions, like you said earlier, they have nothing on their defense, especially their front. Their secondary, they improved a little bit, but now they have their safety, which came from the Eagles. I forget his name now, but he's hurt. And then one dude, the corner, Hayward, which came from Steelers, he's playing. But either way, their secondary isn't that good, or their secondary is better than their front, and their front is not going to do anything as far as stopping the run goes. They were last season. Lions were 29th in rushing yards allowed per game, while the Chiefs were 20th in rushing yards per game forced. So obviously, Chiefs don't run a lot. Like I said, it's a more pass-happy team, but they're not bottom of the barrel, so they're still going to run it. And hopefully Kelsey's out, because if Kelsey's out, this is going to help it even more. But I did not place this bet based on Kelsey being out, so I still feel confident. If anything, his rushing yards are probably higher now.
I doubt it changed much. Probably 5 yards at most.
Yeah. And I think he would go well over this anyway. Last year, Chiefs' first game, they blew out Cardinals and rushed a total of 23 rushing attempts from the backs, while the Cardinals were a better rush defense than the Lions were. Pacheco hit this over 10 games last year, and 6 games that he went under, he wasn't even the starter and had 30% or less snaps. So when he had more than 30% of those games, 10 out of 16 games that he played, or 17 games, whatever it was, he hit this over. And the 6 games that he didn't hit it, he had 30% or less snaps. So obviously it just says that Clyde was there and he wasn't getting the work. And now we all know that hopefully he gets the start. I know he's going to get the start, but hopefully he maintains the start and it's not as big as a committee as some people may think. And then what else I got? This game I think will either be a blowout or a shootout. And I thought that when Kelsey was there that it was going to be a blowout. But now I think it's really just going to be a shootout. I don't think it's going to be a defensive game whatsoever. It's going to be an offensive game. It's a NFL kickoff game, so hopefully it's high scoring, so then the fans can like it. I know it's also on Amazon, right? Amazon Prime, I believe. And they're adding some cool new things into it.
Cool.
So hopefully, as far as the experience goes, they probably want to see more scoring as well. So maybe the refs will swallow some whistles and they will continue to let the offense shoot out. What else I got? Chiefs are favored. Yeah, so you started at 6.5. Now they're at 5.5. Obviously, they went down to 4.5 because of Kelsey. Who knows if he plays or not? They still haven't fully announced it yet. But I see him only needing 10 to 12 attempts, and he should hit this over. Obviously,
did he screw you in the playoffs a little bit? I feel like he did last year.
Don't remember. I would have to look into it. But either way, if he did, this is going to be the bounce back bet.
All right.
If anyone wants to go look back at that. But it really just comes down to him getting 10 to 12 rushing attempts, and I think he's got this in the bag. So as long as they don't give Clyde like way more than him, or he fumbles the ball and then all of a sudden Clyde gets the ball because he fumbled it, that's the only way I could see it happening. But hopefully Kelsey goes out and this bet even hits more, but I'm taking this at 2.5 units. And you want to move on to yours?
Sure. So I really don't have much in this game. The biggest thing, which is kind of contradictory for my season-long outlook on this guy, Jahmyr Gibbs I have as my bust for fantasy for all year because I truly think he's overvalued in the, third round, whatever he was, third, fourth round. That I'll just say.
Wait, Gibbs?
Yeah, Gibbs.
First round. Jahmyr Gibbs?
No, I'm talking about fantasy drafts.
Oh, okay, yeah,
his value is way too high.
Yeah.
Anyways, all that to say, this week I love him, and that's like all my bets are on him. So all my bets are on him in the receiving game. Nothing to do with the rushing game. The Chiefs last year allowed the fourth most receiving yards to running backs. They do not have Chris Jones. When they do not have Chris Jones, they are one of the shittiest pressure rates on QBs. They go from like being like top 5 to literally like 30th. That's over all his 5 years with the Chiefs. Like It's just known that without him, they're not much as a threat to any, especially the Lions O-line, who's awesome. So I think on top of Goff having a lot of time, I think he loves using his running backs. I mean, he showed that with how many targets he gave Swift. So Goff loves using his running backs because he's a sucky long ball thrower. The Lions want to use Gibbs. Obviously, it's their first round pick. They want to show him off and give him the ball as much as possible to see what he can do. And then 2, great matchup. So I'm pretty much laddering his receiving yards. So his over-under is set at 30.5 for negative 114 odds. So I'm going to start with 3 units on that. Then we're going to go to 40-plus yards. We're going to go 1.5 units on that. We're going to go 60-plus yards.
60.
We're going to go 0.75 units. And then 80-plus yards, it's like plus 880. And we'll do, let's just say a half unit on that for shiz and giggles.
Yeah, he's not getting 80.
But either way, I feel like his initial 30.5, I have it 3 units, right? Yeah. It's just almost a lock. I mean, obviously anything can happen.
You got it at 30.5?
Yeah.
When the heck did you place that?
Jahmyr Gibbs over 30.5 Thursday, 8/21. No, that's when the game starts. This was a day and a half ago.
I got him at 39.5.
It's 39.5 right now?
When I got it. It wasn't right now. It was like a day ago.
This was literally like less than 2 days ago, I bet this. I could just look at my screenshot date. I screenshotted it.
He went down. Look, 31.5 right now.
This was September 4th. This was 2 days ago.
Why did he go down?
I don't know. Either way,
that is
30.5. If you're gonna bet just straight up, smartest bet really. But I'm a ladder him because I really think he could have a big first game of the year. NFL season. What do you call it? What's the P word?
PPR?
No, like his debut. Is it debut?
Yeah, it's debut. Not a P
That's
word.
what I meant. Debut. D word.
D
not
word.
P word.
Yeah.
And then I'll just do my other one because it's pretty much the same thing. So I did a quick little same game parlay. So Jahmyr Gibbs 25 plus receiving yards, playing off my other one, and then parlayed with David Montgomery, who I love a lot, as anytime touchdown scorer.
I like that though.
I really think he's going to use this game, really every game throughout the year as a goal line back, just to pound it in. I spoke earlier on how the Lions love to run it versus pass in the red zone. But on top of that, you could talk on the high scoring game. I just think he's going to get minimum 2 opportunities in the red zone, if not 3 to 4. So punch one of them in. Jahmyr Gibbs, I see as a lock. So you get plus 206 odds. So I'm going to put unit on that too.
I feel like you should get more than that for Montgomery getting a touchdown since he's not the starter. It's kind of
like it's funny how like everyone like you were hating on Montgomery and stuff, and his odds are almost dead even. They're only like negative. They're actually I don't even think they're positive. They're like plus 100.
You know why? Because Kelsey is most likely out, so that means he's going to go up.
His every week is going to be plus 100.
Okay, we'll see.
Because that's how much he's going to score.
We'll see. If he doesn't score,
I said 15.
If he doesn't score this week, then it's not going to be that.
What did I say? I think I said 15 plus touchdowns.
Yeah, you're high as a kite. It's Jamal Williams all over again or something. Not happening. Anyway, moving on to my second one of this game. I got Amon St. Brown instead of Josh's total for the receiving yards and for the total year, and Jahmyr Gibbs. I'm taking St. Brown over 6.5 total receptions.
Wait, so you're doing just receptions or
just
yards?
receptions?
Okay, 6.5. I like it.
Let's dig right into it. I didn't really put much stats into it, but pull it up now. He basically towards the end of when he was healthy last year, he hit this every single game besides 3 games. So 4 games. He's hit this every single time besides 4 games. When he was healthy.
4 out of his 13. So
yeah.
It's like I don't know, 70%, 60%.
Yeah, they say 16, but it's not really 16.
It's like 13 he played.
But yeah, he's going to get fed. And I think, like you said, with Gibbs coming on the field, this team's going to get better. And I think he's going to get fed even more, especially because their rookie is suspended. Plus, they don't really have anyone else besides, Josh Reynolds? Is he still there?
Yeah, they're actually going to surprisingly use him, probably. But
I think this game's literally going to be passing it to St. Brown and passing it to Jahmyr Gibbs, getting it close enough, and then, like you said, hammering it down Montgomery, which is why I like his rushing touchdown this week. It's a very easy matchup versus KC, especially if they don't have Chris Jones in it. So, with that being said, I'm going to take him at 1 unit, and it's really juiced, though, at minus 162.
woohoo!
But obviously, it just shows you why.
Because he's going to hit it, most likely.
Because he's most likely going to hit it. Plus, the way that this thing scares me most, the fact that I got it at 39 and I did it. When did I do it? I did it on 9.5, so I did it 2 days ago. I put Jahmyr Gibbs.
That's yesterday at 9.5.
What?
9.5's yesterday.
Oh, never mind. I got Jahmyr Gibbs rushing at 39. Got it. All right. Anyway.
Gibbs.
Yeah, whatever. I'm taking him at 1 unit, minus 162, St. Brown. And then I'm going to go to my parlays. The first one that I got a half unit on is Isaiah Pacheco over 49.5 rushing yards, which is obviously my one bet with 2.5 units. St. Brown over 6.5 receptions, which is my 1 unit. And then Jahmyr Gibbs over 3.5 receptions. If you're going to piggyback off Josh's bet and you like his bet, then there's no doubt he gets 5 receptions at least. 4 receptions at least.
So he could do it with 3 if he has 1 breakaway.
I think he can, but I think if he's doing that good, they're going to continue to feed him.
I
especially with the how good the Lions offense is, and Chris Jones is out, which means it's not Chris Jones is out, which means the rushing game's going to get better. It's Chris Jones is out, which means the passing game's going to get easier because he's not putting QB pressure on as much as like Josh talked about. So it's going to help Goff throw easier and get more time to throw the ball. So I'm taking Gibbs over 3.5 receptions, which then says that St. Brown has to get 7 and Gibbs has to get 4. But like I said, I think it's just going to be a game of them two. And then I took Pacheco's receiving under 10.5. If you look at his numbers last year, he only hit it 3 times. And it was with games that McKinnon was like not fully healthy. He did play all games, but he had a way less percentage compared to the other ones. And Pacheco is just a running back. He's not a receiving back whatsoever. And then the last leg is Jamar Gibbs under 39.5 rushing yards.
Say his name right.
Jamar?
Jameer.
Jameer Gibbs.
Jamal Williams?
Jamar? I don't know. Jameer Gibbs.
Jamar Chase?
Jameer Gibbs under 39.5 rushing yards.
Wait,
Josh.
under?
Yeah, 39.5 rushing.
Okay, I like it.
Like you said, I think he's going to be just used really mainly in the passing game. And even if he does get rushing downs, I can't see him going over 40. That's like basically saying that he's splitting work evenly with Montgomery, if not more than Montgomery. But the thing is, I took this when Chris Jones was not. I mean, he's really never been going to play, but it was farther away on 9-5 of him being able to come back. But now it's even less of a chance, which means he probably would go down, right? No, he'd go up.
I don't know.
It'd probably be more than 39.5. But that is half unit at plus 2,200. No. Plus 2,220. And then my last one is what did we call it last year? Long shot parlay.
Yeah, that was hard.
Just skin through it. McKinnon to go under 16.5 rushing yards. He's just using the passing game. It's simple as that to me. Montgomery over 49.5 rushing yards. He's the running back, like Josh is predicting. The rushing back. Gibbs under 39.5 rushing yards. Piggyback off my last one. And then my 2 picks, Pacheco over 49.5 rushing, St. Brown over 77.5 receiving yards, not the receptions this time. Jameer Gibbs over 31.5 receiving yards. McKinnon over 21.5 receiving yards. David Montgomery under 11.5 receiving yards, and Pacheco under 10.5 receiving yards. So I basically just said, what is your
You're
role?
going to eat the Montgomery one leg. He's going to get over 11.5.
Receiving?
Yeah.
Okay. I highly doubt that, but all right.
Watch.
It would have to be on one play. But anyway, I basically just took the guys, each individual, and said, this is your role, this is your role, this is all you're doing. Hopefully you don't do better in the other roles. And that's what we're going to go with. I dabbled in it very, very little.
What's the odds?
It is at plus 37,420.
It's kind of wild odds. How many legs? 10?
I put $1 on it, and it gets me $375.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty solid.
As long as
his legs are.
Right. As long as Montgomery just doesn't
I just think Montgomery's going to
get a lot of receiving. Obviously, it's a very low thing. And Pacheco doesn't get a lot of receiving. Then I think it should be good to go because I think the other people can do what they need to do.
Montgomery and what's his name already get so much work this game that they both could go over both their things, receiving and rushing.
Yeah. Now, bear this being I took this one. Chris Jones was still up in the air, and then Kelsey being the blowout thing. So I was like, Montgomery's definitely not going to be getting the receiving work. If they're down by a lot, they're going to give it to Gibbs, whereas if it's in the game,
I think you're just thinking about it too much. I think they're just both going to get used, but
we'll see. All right, well, that's it for this week.
Whoa! You want to
whoa! What do you got? A
Tonker
long shot?
Well,
they said you were done.
Well, I just want to give a shout out to the Lions. I think you might win plus 193 if you want to bet on them.
Plus 193,
cool. Straight up, yeah.
Right now it is
money line. I just think they really should win this game. Anyways. Especially upset Mahomes. Yeah, he's 5-0 in his openers, so 5-1 now. I got to pull this one out just because I have one of the guys. So I have a touchdown parlay for week 1, but one of the guys is in this game coming up. So if I don't say it, don't count. So the guy that's in this game is Kadarius Toney. I think he's going to get a touchdown and then get injured and be out. So, Kadarius Toney,
the Jakes.
With a touchdown. The other touchdowns for week 1 in the parlay are Christian McCaffrey, Jahan Dotson, Zach Charbonnet, James Cook, Rashad Penny, and George Pickens. You put them all together.
Rashad Penny. Rashad White?
Rashad Penny on the Eagles.
Oh, I didn't know they're the same first name. All right.
Put them all together. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You get odds of plus 172,000. So you drop a quick 5 ski on that, and you win AGs plus. So I just think it's not a safe bet, obviously, but if you hit like, let's say if Kadarius hits,
it's a shame because the first one's going to
Kadarius hits tomorrow night. Zach Charbonnet actually gets used a decent amount. I feel like all the other guys have a really high chance of hitting. So place it while you can, while Kadarius is still healthy, and get them.
Well, he's still healthy. One more day, he's got it.
He's got it. I mean, not great odds. So like, obviously,
overnight.
I feel like he has a really high opportunity, especially with Kelsey out. Like, they like using him. I mean, he's the biggest threat in that whole offense right now.
The only other one I like is McKinnon. I can see him really using them.
Yeah.
Because they don't throw to wide receivers.
I feel like McKinnon, though, like, yeah, but he just gets schemed in to Tony. He could just do, like, a jet sweep.
Yeah.
But I feel like McKinnon just got, like, a lot of, scramble. All right, I'm no guy.
Yeah.
Like, he wasn't set to get the touchdown last year's.
There was a website I follow, and it's basically said that they almost never throw to wide receivers, and it's just running backs and tight ends, obviously, because Kelsey gets most of the receptions. But then the second one up, it was very close percentage-wise, was running backs, and then wide receivers were at like the teens as far as percentage of getting receptions, targets from Mahomes. So obviously just shows that they don't do it. But like you said, it would have to be more of a scheme, jet sweep, not even a jet sweep, just a scheme in play for the red zone for him to get the ball. And if Kelsey's out, it obviously helps him. But I think that's the way it's going to lose. That's my least favorite.
I don't really care. Plus 172,000 odds.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's it for this week. Hope you guys enjoy tomorrow. If you like any of our bets, like I said, trail them. Let us know. If you don't like any of them, let us know what you got, so maybe we can trail along with you. And it's going to be a great season. I mean, I'm hoping we go plus 100 units. Sound good?
I'm down for the goal.
All right. Plus 100 units. Plus that's 100 our goal.
On the way.
For the year. And if we do it, maybe we'll do a little giveaway. You never know. Stay tuned. Like, comment, subscribe. See you guys later. Peace. Bye.